Leo walked through the crowded halls of the interstellar trade hub, feeling completely out of place. Humans were still rare in this sector of the galaxy, and most of the faces around him were alien, with shapes, colors, and movements he had never seen before. Some had extra limbs, others glowed faintly, and a few even floated a few inches above the floor. Leo took a deep breath. Today, he was not just a visitor. He was a diplomat and translator, representing humanity in a negotiation that could open doors for trade with dozens of alien species. He adjusted his formal jacket and tried to calm his nerves. Being polite had never been his strong suit, but this was important. The aliens valued respect, tradition, and ceremony more than anything else. One wrong move, one careless word, and a centuries-old alliance could collapse. Leo's first stop was the Grand Banquet Hall, a massive chamber with ceilings that shimmered like liquid silver. Bioluminescent plants hung from the walls, casting gentle light across the alien diners. The air smelled faintly sweet, with hints of spices Leo couldn't recognize. As he walked in, the chatter paused for a moment, and all eyes seemed to turn toward him. "Welcome, human," said a voice behind him. He turned to see a tall, elegant alien with translucent wings and bright purple skin. "I am Counselor Vela. Follow me to your seat." Leo nodded, trying not to stare at the alien's glowing eyes. He followed, carefully stepping between long tables filled with various delicacies, some of which seemed to move slightly on their own. He felt every pair of eyes on him, and his palms were beginning to sweat. At the center of the hall sat Queen Solara, ruler of the alien empire. Her presence was magnetic. She had a graceful posture, shimmering golden scales along her arms and eyes that seemed to see right through him. Leo felt his stomach twist nervously. He had studied the customs and protocols, but meeting the queen in person was far more intimidating than any textbook or simulation could prepare him for. The banquet began, and Leo attempted to follow the strange alien etiquette. There were gestures, hand placements, and silent bows he had to copy. Every mistake drew quiet giggles from some of the younger aliens, but the elders watched with sharp, critical eyes. Then it happened. During a moment of formal greeting, Leo tried to bow gracefully to Queen Solara. In human culture, this was polite. In alien culture, apparently, slightly bowing while holding hands forward was considered a proposal gesture, a sacred act that humans had no concept of. Leo, unaware of what he had just done, added a nervous joke in his native tongue. I guess if you wanna, take me, He trailed off. The room went silent. Every alien froze. Counselor Vela's wings twitched nervously. The queen's eyes widened ever so slightly, and then she smiled. Leo blinked. He had no idea what just happened. "Human," said Queen Solara, her voice calm but powerful, echoing softly through the hall. "I accept." Leo's jaw dropped. "Wait, what?" "I accept your proposal," Solara said again, her voice as steady as the stars outside the windows. The aliens around him erupted into whispers, low murmurs that seemed to vibrate in the air. Some looked shocked, some amused, and a few were nodding in approval. Leo stammered, trying to explain himself. No. I didn't mean, this is a misunderstanding," he said, his voice rising. I thought, I wasn't proposing. I was joking. Solara tilted her head, her golden scales catching the light. "You were nervous. You stumbled over your words. You have courage, honesty, and humor. That is intriguing. I do not need more than that to accept." Leo's stomach sank. He knew he could not backtrack without causing a huge diplomatic disaster. The queen had accepted publicly, and now everyone expected him to honor it, at least until he could explain himself properly. Counselor Vela stepped closer, her voice low. "Sir Leo, you need to remain calm. This is delicate. The queen does not often accept proposals lightly. She may be testing you, or she may be serious. Either way, you must follow the protocols from this moment on." Leo gulped. He had studied alien politics, but nothing in any of his manuals prepared him for accidentally proposing to a galactic queen. His mind raced. How would he survive the rest of the evening without making things worse? Solara's eyes met his again, and she smiled slightly. "Come, human. Let us enjoy the banquet together. You may sit beside me." Leo felt every head in the hall turn toward him as he made his way to the queen's table. He had to remind himself to breathe. He was about to sit beside one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy, and she thought he had offered himself as a partner. As he sat, he noticed that Solara's attendants began explaining customs to him quietly. He learned that in this culture, sharing a meal meant unity, and that hand gestures could signify promises, agreements, or declarations. Every bite he took had to be carefully considered. One wrong move could offend the queen. Leo struggled to remember all the rules. He nearly put his drink in the wrong hand and almost reached for a plate he was not allowed to touch. Solara watched him closely but without judgment. Her gaze was curious, almost playful. Leo couldn't tell if she was amused at his mistakes or genuinely interested in him. "You are nervous," Solara said suddenly, her voice gentle. "I can feel it." Yes, Your Majesty. I am not used to this, banquet culture," Leo admitted. Solara tilted her head. "You are honest. That is rare. Most would try to pretend and most would fail. You are entertaining," Leo swallowed, trying to hide a blush. "I thank you, Your Majesty. I really didn't mean about the proposal." Solara chuckled softly, a sound like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "It does not matter, it is done. Let us see where this leads. You may find that what begins as a mistake can become something remarkable." Leo stared at her, unsure whether to be terrified or fascinated. He had no idea what this would mean for him, personally or politically. He had a feeling that his life was about to change in ways he could not imagine. After the meal, Solara invited Leo to walk with her through the floating gardens of her palace. Bioluminescent flowers glowed under the alien moons, casting shifting patterns of light across the marble paths. Leo tried to keep up as she glided effortlessly, her golden scales shimmering in the soft light. "You are not from here," Solara said, her voice soft but commanding. "Yet you have spirit. Many of my advisors would have fled from such a situation. You stayed. That is commendable," Leo nodded. I guess I have to. There's no going back now, is there?" Solara's eyes sparkled. "No, there is no going back. And yet that may be a good thing. Sometimes the unexpected leads to the greatest discoveries." Leo wondered if she meant him, or the accidental proposal, or something else entirely. As they walked, he noticed the alien guards and attendants keeping a respectful distance, yet clearly observing his every move. He realized that from this moment on, every word, every gesture, every glance could be interpreted politically. One false step could cause offense, and one misstep could have consequences far beyond his understanding. He also realized something else. Despite his panic, despite the absurdity of the situation, he did not feel afraid in the way he expected. There was a strange thrill in standing beside the queen, in facing the unknown with honesty and courage. Somehow he felt alive in a way he had never felt before. Solara paused near a fountain of shimmering water that floated in midair, suspended by alien technology. She turned to him. "Tell me, Leo," she said. "Do you want—" The morning after the banquet, Leo awoke in a guest chamber of Queen Solara's palace. The room was unlike anything he had ever seen. The walls shimmered faintly like liquid glass, reflecting soft light from floating orbs that hovered gently in the air. A faint scent of jasmine mixed with something metallic lingered, calming yet foreign. Leo rubbed his eyes and tried to remember where he was. Slowly, the events of the previous night returned. The banquet, the mistaken proposal, the queen's unexpected acceptance. He groaned. How could one simple joke lead to this? He was now technically the accepted partner of one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. He dressed quickly and stepped into the hallway. Servants moved silently, floating above the floor, tending to the palace's needs. Their movements were precise and elegant. Each glance they gave him seemed to measure him, judge him. Leo felt the familiar tight knot of anxiety in his stomach. He had to survive this alien court, or at least avoid humiliating himself. A soft chime announced Queen Solara's arrival. Leo turned to see her entering the corridor, gliding gracefully. Her golden scales shimmered, and her eyes held a faint amusement as they landed on him. "Good morning, Leo," she said. "I trust you slept well?" "Yes, Your Majesty," he stammered. "Though I think I might need a guide to everything here," Solara chuckled softly. "Indeed, life in the palace is different from life among your people. But do not worry. You will learn. You must." She gestured to an alien attendant nearby. "Bring him to the Court of Rituals. Today, he will observe our customs and begin his first lessons in palace etiquette." Leo followed, trying to match Solara's calm and deliberate pace. The halls opened into a massive chamber filled with mirrors, lights, and floating platforms. Aliens of all shapes and colors were already assembled. Some practiced gestures, others engaged in quiet conversations. The scene was beautiful but intimidating. You will begin with the greeting ritual, Solara explained. It is essential for you to understand how to show respect in my court. One mistake and you risk offense, Leo nodded nervously. I'll try my best. The first lesson was deceptively simple. A series of hand gestures combined with a slight bow and a hum of acknowledgement. Leo practiced, overthinking each movement. His hands trembled and his bow was slightly crooked. Solara watched silently, her expression unreadable. You are tense, she finally said. Relax. The ritual is about presence, not perfection. Leo tried again. This time he focused on breathing, letting his movements flow naturally. The attendants whispered quietly among themselves, noting his improvement. Solara's eyes softened slightly. She seemed intrigued. After the greeting ritual, Leo was introduced to the Court of Conversation, a room where advisors and emissaries met. He had to learn how to speak and respond in ways that were acceptable in alien society. Every phrase, every tone of voice had meaning. Miscommunication could be dangerous. You humans are curious creatures, said a deep voice beside him. Leo turned to see a tall, armored alien with silver skin. Your boldness is unusual, but it is also admirable. Many would flee at the thought of joining our queen's court. Leo swallowed. I didn't mean to, I'm just trying to fit in. The alien smiled faintly. Yes, you are learning. That is what matters. Later, Solara took him to the floating gardens, a palace area suspended in midair by alien technology. Flowers glowed in colors Leo had no names for, and streams of water flowed upwards before falling back down in sparkling arcs. Here, Solara said. You will learn patience, observation, and respect for life. The way you treat these gardens reflects the way you treat others. Leo walked carefully along the floating paths, watching tiny luminescent creatures flit among the plants. He reached out to touch one and it darted away. He laughed quietly. Do not laugh at life's small mysteries, Solara said, floating beside him. Everything here has meaning. Even mistakes. Leo realized she was teaching him more than palace etiquette. She was teaching him mindfulness, patience, and awareness. Skills humans rarely needed in their own world, but essential in hers. The day passed quickly with lessons in alien cuisine, proper ways to accept gifts, and observing ceremonial dances. Leo stumbled more than once, but Solara was patient, correcting him without scolding. Other attendants whispered among themselves, clearly impressed by how he handled the unfamiliar culture. By evening, Leo was exhausted but slightly more confident. He had survived the palace without major offense. He thought about the accident that started it all. The mistaken proposal seemed distant now, yet it still hung over him like a shadow. Solara approached him as he prepared to leave for the evening. You did well today, she said. You are learning faster than I expected. That pleases me. Thank you, Your Majesty, Leo replied. I still hope to explain the misunderstanding about last night. Solara tilted her head. You do not need to explain. This is not about what was said. This is about how you act. Courage, honesty, and perseverance are more valuable than words. Leo nodded, unsure if he fully understood, but grateful for her guidance. That night, as he lay in his chamber, he thought about the palace, the rituals, and the queen herself. She was unlike any person or alien he had ever met. Intelligent, perceptive, and unexpectedly kind. He wondered if this whole situation could turn into a real friendship, or perhaps something more. Just as he was about to drift into sleep, an urgent chime echoed through his chamber. A soft voice, unfamiliar and serious, spoke through the intercom. Sir Leo, the Queen requests your presence. Immediately. Leo jumped out of bed. What now? He muttered, rushing to the communication device. When he arrived at the audience chamber, he found Solara standing with several senior advisors. Her expression was serious now, no trace of amusement. There is a matter that requires your insight, she said. A rival faction has been gathering intelligence on the palace. I want your perspective, Leo blinked. Rival faction. Solara nodded. Yes, some do not trust humans. Some see your presence as an advantage. We must ensure the safety of the palace and the stability of my rule. Leo felt a spark of fear, but also determination. He had no idea what these aliens' politics truly involved. But he realized one thing. His knowledge of human tactics, strategy, and creativity could make a difference. Over the next hours, Leo observed reports, maps, and communications intercepted from the rival faction. He suggested ways to counter potential attacks using unpredictable strategies and human logic. The alien advisors were skeptical at first, but Solara listened closely, weighing his ideas. Finally, she turned to him. "You are bold, human. Your mind is different. That may prove useful. We will consider your recommendations." Leo felt a mix of relief and pride. For the first time, he sensed that he was contributing, not just stumbling through alien customs. He had gone from a nervous visitor to someone whose insight mattered. That night, as he returned to his chamber, he realized that life in the palace would be challenging, unpredictable, and sometimes dangerous. But it could also be rewarding. He thought of Solara, and the Queen's words echoed in his mind. Sometimes the unexpected leads to the greatest discoveries. Leo understood now that he was part of something much larger than himself. The mistaken proposal had opened a door, one that might lead to adventure, friendship, and even a bond that transcended the differences between. Leo woke to the soft glow of the alien sun filtering through the palace windows. His mind was restless. Life in the palace was already a whirlwind of etiquette lessons, rituals, and constant observation, but he had begun to feel a strange confidence. The Queen had accepted him mistakenly, yes, but he realized that his human traits might be more valuable than he thought. After breakfast, he was summoned to a small chamber, separate from the grand halls. The room was lined with screens and floating data panels, all flickering with streams of alien symbols. Solara was already there, studying the information with a frown. "Leo," she said without looking up, "I need your help with a matter of great importance. I have received reports of unusual movements near our borders. I believe a rival faction may be planning something." Leo stepped closer, scanning the panels. The alien symbols were complex, but the general patterns were clear. "Do you want me to help analyze these patterns?" he asked cautiously. Solara finally looked at him, her golden eyes intense. "Yes, I want your human perspective. Sometimes your species sees patterns differently. That can be useful." Leo nodded. He took a deep breath and started examining the data. He noticed small anomalies in the communication networks, gaps in patrol reports, and inconsistencies in the movement of certain fleets. While alien advisors had dismissed these as minor errors, Leo suspected they were deliberate. "Your Majesty," he said, pointing to a section of the display, "these gaps here, and these unusual shifts in fleet movement, I think they are planning an attack. They may want to strike during the upcoming festival when attention is elsewhere." Solara raised an eyebrow. "Interesting. Explain your reasoning." Leo explained step by step, using logic and observation rather than alien protocol. He suggested that the rival faction intended to create confusion and seize power, while the Queen's attention was distracted. The advisors murmured among themselves, impressed by his insight. Solara's frown softened. "Your human intuition is remarkable. We may be underestimating them." Leo felt a mixture of pride and fear. He had predicted a serious threat, but now he realized the danger was real. "What can we do to stop them?" he asked. Solara smiled faintly. "We must act carefully. Too much force will confirm their suspicions. Too little will allow them to strike. I need a strategy that combines caution, intelligence, and unpredictability. Perhaps your human creativity will help." For the rest of the day, Leo worked with Solara and her trusted advisors. They discussed plans, simulated possible outcomes, and examined every scenario. Leo suggested unconventional tactics, feints, hidden defenses, and subtle misinformation. The alien generals were skeptical at first, but Solara listened closely, weighing his ideas. By evening, they had developed a plan. Leo would help implement it, combining his human ingenuity with alien technology. He realized that he was no longer a guest in the palace. He was becoming an integral part of the Queen's defense. That night, Solara invited Leo to walk with her along the sky bridges, long walkways suspended high above the city, glowing softly beneath the alien moons. The air was cool, filled with the scent of strange flowers and ozone. "You work well under pressure, human," Solara said, glancing at him. "Most would crumble in this environment." "You do not," Leo shrugged. I just try to think clearly. I know mistakes can be costly here, and I want to help." Solara studied him carefully, Your desire to help is genuine. That is rare. Many come seeking power, status, or favor. Few care about the people. Leo felt a strange warmth. I care about your people. And about you, Your Majesty. He caught himself and quickly added, I mean, your safety, your rule. Not, you personally. I mean, Solara chuckled softly. You are honest if clumsy. That is part of your charm. Before Leo could respond, a soft alert sounded from his communicator. The Queen's security system had detected movement near the palace perimeter. Leo and Solara rushed to the observation deck, a circular platform with transparent floors and panoramic views of the surrounding city. Below them, shadowy figures moved among the patrols. Leo recognized the patterns immediately. The rival faction was testing the defenses, looking for weak points. He pointed to specific areas where patrol coverage was thin. They are scouting. They won't attack yet. They want to know how we respond. Solara nodded. We must respond, but subtly. Follow my lead. Over the next hour, Leo helped direct patrols, adjust defense grids, and create decoy signals. He suggested moving certain ships in unexpected patterns, confusing the intruders without exposing their full strength. The rival factions' movements became erratic, and eventually, they withdrew. Solara placed a hand on Leo's shoulder. You see patterns I would not have noticed. You have saved many lives tonight. I am grateful. Leo felt a mix of pride and disbelief. Just a few days ago, he had been a nervous guest, unsure how to greet the Queen properly. Now he had helped protect an entire alien city. Over the following days, Leo continued to assist Solara in securing her realm. He learned to anticipate the rival factions' moves, suggest countermeasures, and even participate in strategy meetings with senior generals. His human creativity, risk-taking, lateral thinking, and unpredictability proved invaluable. Solara began to observe him more closely, not just as a guest, but as a partner in thought and action. She asked his opinion on cultural matters, legal decisions, and diplomatic exchanges. Leo found himself respected in ways he had never imagined possible. One afternoon, as they reviewed plans for the upcoming festival, Solara spoke quietly. Leo, you are not like other humans I have met. You are adaptable, courageous, and clever. I'm curious to see how far you can go. Leo felt a strange mixture of fear and excitement. I will do my best, Your Majesty. For you and for your people. Solara smiled faintly. Good, that is all I ask. Later, Leo wandered through the palace gardens alone, reflecting on the past few days. He realized that the mistaken proposal had set off a chain of events he could never have imagined. He had gone from a nervous visitor to a trusted advisor in a matter of days, and he had begun to admire the Queen, not just for her beauty or power, but for her intelligence, kindness, and wisdom. A soft voice behind him made him jump. Thinking too much, human? Leo turned to see Solara approaching, her eyes warm. I try not to, he admitted. But it is hard. Everything here is new and everything matters, she nodded. Yes, life in my world is not simple, but you are learning quickly, that is impressive. They walked together in silence for a while, the soft glow of the gardens lighting their path. For the first time, Leo felt a sense of belonging in this alien world. He was not just a visitor or a mistake, he was part of something larger, something important. Suddenly, Solara stopped and turned to him. Leo, there is more to this threat than mere scouting. I fear the rival faction may strike during the festival itself. Your input will be vital in preventing disaster. Leo's stomach tightened, but he nodded. Then we need to plan carefully. I'll help in any way I can. Solara's eyes softened. I knew accepting you, even mistakenly, could lead to complications. But I did not foresee. This perhaps. Fate has its own designs. Leo swallowed hard. Fate. He had never believed in it. But now, standing beside the Queen, facing threats and challenges, he wondered if some accidents were meant to happen. Perhaps this mistaken proposal was the beginning of a journey neither of them could have predicted, but both would grow from it. As night fell over the palace, Leo returned to his chamber. The stars outside the windows glittered like diamonds on black velvet. He thought about the rival faction, the upcoming festival, and the Queen's trust in him. He realized that his human ingenuity, courage, and honesty were making a difference in ways he had never imagined. And for the first time, he felt a sense of excitement about the future. No matter what challenges lay ahead, he was ready to face them, Not the day of the festival arrived with a quiet tension in the air. The palace was filled with colors and lights, and the citizens moved through the streets in celebration. Floating banners shimmered and music filled the air with soft alien harmonies. To the untrained eye, everything seemed peaceful, joyful, and normal, but Leo knew better. Hidden beneath the beauty and celebration, danger was lurking. The rival faction had not abandoned their plans. They had been patient, observing, learning, and waiting for the perfect moment. And Leo, the human who had stumbled into this world by accident, was now the one responsible for helping the queen and her people. Solara approached him early that morning. Her golden eyes were sharp and focused, her calm demeanor hiding the tension she felt. "Leo," she said, "the enemy may strike soon. We have prepared defenses, but their strategy is unpredictable. I need you to remain at my side and assist in directing the response." Leo nodded, swallowing the nervous lump in his throat. "I understand, Your Majesty. I'll do everything I can." The first sign came subtly. Small patrol ships reported unusual activity near the palace perimeter. Leo pointed out gaps in the security grid. "They're testing us, looking for weak points," he said. "We need to be ready for anything, and we must not reveal all our strength too early." Solara agreed. "Very well. We will respond carefully but decisively." As the festival reached its peak, celebrations continued in the streets and gardens. Citizens moved about, enjoying the music and the luminous displays. Leo and Solara observed from a balcony, overseeing the activity. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the city. Shadowy ships emerged from hidden locations near the outer orbit of the palace. The rival faction had decided to act. Leo's heart raced as he watched them advance. Solara's voice cut through the tension. "Leo, follow me. We must coordinate from the palace command chamber." They moved quickly through the corridors, escorted by loyal guards. The chamber was filled with holographic maps, blinking alerts, and screens displaying live feeds from the palace defenses. Leo immediately assessed the situation, noting areas of vulnerability and potential targets for the enemy. "They are trying to divide our forces," he said. "They'll attack the gates first, drawing attention while a smaller force tries to infiltrate the palace itself." Solara nodded. "Then we will use a counter-strategy. Human ingenuity combined with alien technology may be enough." The battle began with bursts of energy from defensive turrets, flares of light streaking across the dark sky. Leo suggested subtle feints, directing some ships to appear in one sector while secretly reinforcing another. His plans were unconventional, relying on deception and unpredictability rather than sheer force. The alien generals hesitated at first, unsure if his ideas would work. Solara intervened, speaking with calm authority. "Trust him. His insight is valuable. We must act quickly." As the countermeasures were put into place, Leo noticed a group of enemy infiltrators heading toward the palace. He grabbed a control panel and rerouted security drones to intercept them. A tense few minutes followed, with lasers and energy pulses lighting the palace corridors. Leo acted quickly, his human reflexes and improvisation saving the palace guards from several traps. The infiltrators were forced to retreat, confused and disoriented by his tactics. Solara observed silently, impressed by his courage and quick thinking. Then, the main enemy fleet attempted a direct assault on the palace gates. Leo suggested creating false targets, decoy energy signals, and redirecting some defensive fire to give the illusion of vulnerability. The enemy ships hesitated, unsure which defenses were real and which were illusions. Solara glanced at him, a faint smile appearing on her lips. "Your human mind is remarkable," she said. "We would not have survived this long without you." Leo felt a surge of pride but did not allow himself to relax. The battle was far from over. He moved quickly, coordinating defenses, anticipating enemy moves, and offering suggestions to the alien commanders. Every decision had to be precise yet flexible as the enemy tried new tactics. In the midst of the chaos, a direct strike breached the palace perimeter near the council chambers. Leo realized that Solara could be in danger. Without thinking, he raced toward the breach, navigating the corridors filled with alarms and flashing lights. He found Solara confronting a group of enemy soldiers in the main hall. Her agility and skill were impressive, but she was outnumbered. Leo acted instinctively, using his human reflexes and quick thinking to create a diversion, allowing the queen to regain her footing and dispatch the attackers. "Are you all right?" he asked, panting from the effort. Solara's eyes softened. Thanks to you, human. You are brave, Leo shrugged, embarrassed. I just did what I could. The battle continued for hours, but Leo and Solara's combined efforts gradually turned the tide. The enemy forces were outmaneuvered, confused by the unpredictable human strategies, and demoralized by the precision of the Queen's countermeasures. Finally, as the last enemy ship retreated, a hush fell over the palace. Citizens emerged from hiding, cheering quietly at the victory. The palace guards and generals looked at Leo with newfound respect. He had not only survived the battle but had played a critical role in saving the Queen and the city. Solara approached him, her golden scales glowing softly in the aftermath of the battle. Leo, you have proven yourself, she said. Not as a guest, not as a mistake, but as someone worthy to stand beside me. Leo felt a mixture of pride, relief, and awe. The journey from a nervous visitor to a trusted partner had been swift and unexpected. I only did what I had to, Your Majesty, he said. Solara shook her head, her expression serious yet gentle. It was more than that. You acted with courage, intelligence, and loyalty. Those qualities are rare, and they matter greatly. The citizens and palace members began to gather in the courtyard, celebrating the victory. Leo stood beside Solara as she addressed the crowd. She praised the defenders, acknowledged the bravery of the people, and, subtly, acknowledged the human who had helped turn the battle in their favor. Whispers ran through the crowd. A human had fought alongside the Queen, using ingenuity and courage to save the city. For many, it was unimaginable. Yet here he stood, alive, victorious, and respected. Later, as the festival resumed in a more subdued but joyful manner, Solara and Leo walked together along the sky bridges, observing the peaceful city below. You have done well, Leo, Solara said quietly. Your presence here has changed many perceptions, not just among the citizens but among my council as well. Humans may be underestimated, but you have shown that courage and intelligence can cross any species boundary. Leo smiled faintly, humbled by her words. And I never expected this. I thought I was just lucky or maybe foolish. Solara tilted her head. The city had returned to peace. After the rival factions' failed attack, celebrations resumed, but now they carried a deeper meaning. People danced through the streets, their laughter echoing in the air, and the glowing banners reflected the joy of survival. Leo walked beside Queen Solara, observing the festivities from the palace balcony. This city, it's incredible, Leo said. Even after all the danger, it still feels alive and beautiful. Solara smiled faintly. It is, my people are resilient. And courage is not measured by size or species. It is measured by heart and action. You have proven that, human. Leo felt a warmth rise in his chest. For days he had been overwhelmed by alien customs, palace life, and the constant pressure of expectations. Now for the first time he felt a true sense of belonging. Not just in the palace, but in this world beside the Queen and among her people. You have changed things here, Solara continued. Not only did you help save the city, but you have also shown my council and my citizens that humans are capable of great courage and ingenuity. Leo shrugged, a little embarrassed. I just did what I could. I never expected any of this. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Solara tilted her head, a small smile on her lips. Sometimes the wrong place at the wrong time is exactly where we are meant to be. The festival lights reflected in her eyes, and Leo realized again how extraordinary she was. Brave, wise, and commanding, yet capable of gentle humor. For a moment he allowed himself to imagine what life might be like if this accidental proposal led to a partnership beyond politics. Later, the Queen held a private audience to honor those who had defended the palace. Guards, citizens, and advisors gathered to receive recognition. When Solara's gaze fell on Leo, a murmur ran through the room. The human had become more than a visitor. He had become a symbol of courage and unity. Leo, she said, her voice clear and commanding, you have acted with wisdom, bravery, and heart. You have shown us that strength is not measured by size or species, but by courage and intelligence. I am proud to have you by my side. The audience erupted in applause. Leo felt a mix of pride, gratitude, and humility. He had never imagined that a simple mistake, a misunderstood proposal, could lead to this moment. He had become a part of something larger than himself, a part of a world that had once seemed alien and impossible. That evening, as the city quieted and the festival lights dimmed, Solara invited Leo to walk with her through the royal gardens. The gardens were serene now, the glowing flowers and floating lights creating a soft, peaceful ambiance. "You have done more than I could have imagined," Solara said quietly. "And yet, there is something more I wish to discuss." Leo looked at her, curiosity and apprehension mixing in his chest. "More, Your Majesty?" Solara paused, her golden eyes meeting his. "Yes, about their proposal. You know I accepted it. That acceptance is not a joke, human. It is sincere. And it carries weight, both for me and for my people." Leo felt his heart skip a beat. He had been hoping for a chance to clarify, to explain that it had been accidental. But now, looking into her eyes, he realized something profound. This was not just an accident anymore. It was a beginning, a choice. "Your Majesty," he began carefully, "I never meant to propose. It was a misunderstanding, but being here with you, helping your people, I realized that I would be honored to stand beside you, not just by mistake, but by choice." Solara's expression softened, a faint smile playing on her lips. "That is what I hoped to hear. Your courage and honesty are what matter most. Words are fleeting, but actions define us. You have proven yourself." Leo swallowed, trying to steady himself. "I promise, Your Majesty, I will stand by you. I will do my best for your people, for your kingdom, and for you." Solara nodded, her gaze steady and approving. "Then it is settled. The acceptance is no longer a mistake. It is a partnership, a bond of trust, courage, and shared purpose." Leo felt a strange thrill, a mixture of relief and happiness. He had started this journey by accident, but now he was making a conscious choice, a choice to embrace the challenge, the responsibility, and the connection with the Queen. The following days were filled with preparations for the official recognition ceremony. Citizens from across the city gathered to witness the human who had become a hero in their midst. Leo trained alongside the Queen's advisors, learning more about governance, diplomacy, and defense. He was no longer just a visitor. He was a trusted partner involved in every decision, respected by all who had once doubted him. On the day of the ceremony, the city square was filled with glowing banners, floating lanterns, and excited citizens. Solara stood on a raised platform, her golden scales reflecting the light, and Leo stood beside her. The crowd was hushed, waiting for the Queen's announcement. "People of the city," Solara began, her voice echoing clearly. "Today we honor bravery, loyalty, and courage. And today we recognize one who has shown that even the smallest species can make a great difference. This human, Leo, has proven himself not by words but by actions. He has stood beside me, defended our city, and earned the trust of my people." The crowd erupted into cheers. Leo felt a mix of pride and awe as he looked out at the citizens, realizing that he had become a symbol of hope and unity. Solara continued, her gaze fixed on him. "And now, Leo, I recognize you not just as a hero but as my chosen partner. Our bond is no longer accidental. It is deliberate, sincere, and binding." The citizens cheered even louder. Leo felt a warmth in his chest as he realized the full weight of the moment. He had gone from a nervous visitor to a hero, and now to someone honored and respected beyond anything he had ever imagined. Solara extended her hand, a gesture of trust, respect, and partnership. Leo took it, feeling the golden warmth of her scales and the strength of her presence. I accept," he said firmly, no hesitation in his voice. "I will stand by you for your people, for your kingdom, and for you." Solara's eyes sparkled with approval and something deeper, pride perhaps, and a hint of affection. "Then let us begin this new chapter together." The crowd erupted into celebration once more. Fireworks, created by alien technology, lit up the sky, casting dazzling patterns across the city. Leo felt a sense of belonging he had never known, a sense of purpose he had never dreamed of, and a connection with the Queen that had grown from accident to choice. As the celebration continued late into the night, Leo and Solara walked through the palace gardens side by side. No words were needed for the understanding between them. Their partnership had been forged through challenges, danger, and trust, and it now carried the promise of the future. For Leo, the journey that began with a simple mistake had transformed his life completely. He had arrived as a human visitor, nervous and uncertain, and now he stood as a hero, a partner, and a trusted figure in a world that had once seemed so alien. And for the first time, he understood that sometimes the most extraordinary journeys begin with the simplest accidents, and that courage, Honesty and heart can change not only a life, but a world. As the alien moons rose high above the city and the last of the festival lights faded, Leo looked at Queen Solara, his heart steady and sure. He had found his place, his purpose, and perhaps even something more, a connection that transcended worlds, species, and expectation. Together, they looked toward the future, ready for whatever adventures and challenges lay ahead. A new beginning had started, not by plan but by accident, and yet it was perfect. Leo smiled faintly. Life, he realized, had a strange way of turning mistakes into opportunities, and sometimes those mistakes led to the greatest discoveries of all.